Good day, this is Darren Clavel, the South Dakota State Fire Meteorologist, and I just wanted to send you a little update on the fire weather situation for today, tonight, and tomorrow. We're getting close to some pretty critical conditions with some pretty breezy winds, so let's just take a look at what we got going on. Here's our current ERCs for the region, and of course we're up in South Dakota, the eastern side of the Black Hills, really 90th percentile and above for those ERCs, a little bit lower across the prairies. But I'm not sure I totally trust those data. Those are the areas of the state, especially central and south central South Dakota, that we haven't seen any precip. So I'm not really sure why the ERCs are below 50th percentile, but fuels are cured on the landscape and they're susceptible to burning. I just saw some notifications this morning of a 5-acre fire kind of on the west of Rapid City a few miles. So we do know that things can spread on the landscape today. Here is that precipitation. This is looking back the past 4 weeks. There are many areas I haven't seen any precipitation, including those eastern edges of the Black Hills. There's just really no snow cover out there. And so, of course, if we get strong winds on top of cured fuels, we can push fire across the landscape pretty quickly. And here is our visible satellite imagery from this morning, and it's showing a little bit of snow across northeastern parts of the state, a little bit of snow over the northern central Black Hills, but yeah, I mean everywhere else pretty much dry, and fire can definitely go. So high temperatures today is going to be in the upper 50s to lower 60s across the vast portion of the state. The snow-covered area of the northeast is definitely cooler, of course, the higher elevations of the Black Hills, but very warm conditions for the first week in February. And we'll combine that with some low relative humidity. If we look at the values up, in this area, we're really looking at 13 to 18% RH. On top of that, we're getting westerly winds and gusty westerly winds at that. These are gusts. We look down at the color coding down here. We're looking at gusts anywhere from 25 to maybe even up to 45 miles per hour in places. And that includes the higher elevations of the Black Hills as well. And so, we're getting some breezy conditions here. Of course, with westerly winds, you got kind of a relatively low area of wind off to the east side of the hills, but definitely gusty conditions combined with that dry air that's out there. And here's our probability of exceeding the 95th percentile of the hot, dry, windy index. And we're really bumping into that across the western part of the state today. So today, relatively warm, relatively dry, and breezy. Could see some fires getting going across the landscape. But I do want to stress one thing tonight. There is going to be a cold front passing through overnight tonight. And I quote cold because it's not really that cold. It's going to bring in a little bit more humid air, but really not much to mitigate the situation. But what it is going to do is it's going to bring us some very strong winds. So the position of this front, and this is at midnight Mountain Time, 1 a.m. Central Standard Time, and the position of this front is right about here, and it's moving to the southeast. But if we look at the wind gusts along that front and behind that front, these colors for the northern hills and the I-90 corridor, kind of from Rapid City up through Sturgis, potential gusts from 45 to 55 miles per hour as that front moves through. And again, this is overnight tonight, so it's critical that if we do have a fire on the landscape, that you know when this front will be passing through your area and when you can expect strong wind gusts associated with that front. Again, northwesterly winds, right? This is a gusty winds, or a diagram showing the gusty winds at 6 a.m. Central Time tomorrow, 5 a.m. Mountain Time. And we're looking at gusts hills wide in excess of 40 miles per hour, maybe even up to 55 miles per hour on some exposed peaks and ridges. A lot of our weather models are showing this. And so, it's with an inversion setting in overnight, you can sometimes get calmer winds down in the valleys, but I do think with the level of the strong winds that we're seeing, it's probably going to mix down to the surface, and we're probably going to see those strong northwesterly winds overnight tonight, especially across western South Dakota. Going forward, midday tomorrow, we're going to see gusts in excess of 45 miles per hour out of the northwest statewide. Potential for some gusts up in that 55 mile per hour range, but definitely strong winds. And so we're going to be looking at through we're going to be looking at that through the day tomorrow. And again, continuation of low RHs. These RHs are really in the 20 to 30% range across kind of that area, which isn't critical, but when you combine wind gusts in excess of 45 miles per hour with the cured fuels that we have on the landscape, you do not need relative humidity to be below 20%. Things will burn just fine. So just be aware of that. And here's our probability of exceeding the 95th percentile of the hot, dry, windy index tomorrow. And so definitely looking at some warm, dry, and windy conditions. So summary, we're looking at near critical conditions today through tomorrow. Breezy westerly winds today, transitioning to northwesterly winds overnight tonight as that weak cold front passes through. So watch the timing of that frontal passage and know when the winds are going to shift from west to northwest. And the relative humidity is going to be plenty low considering we do have cured fuels on the landscape. If you do have questions or comments, please send them my way, and I'd be happy to talk with you about the situation a little bit more if you need. Cheers.